Tonight, there is more fallout over the controversial George Zimmerman not guilty verdict. I'm Jean Casares in for Jane Velez-Mitchell. As the Department of Justice declares that they want to hold all the evidence in the Zimmerman trial, the parents of the slain teen Trayvon Martin say the verdict came as a complete shock. Good evening. I'm Jean Casares, filling in for my friend Jane Velez-Mitchell. Martin's devastated parents say that they went to court every single day leading up to the verdict to be the face for Trayvon, but they were still stunned by the outcome.
The most important purpose was to give Trayvon a voice, because he's not here to say anything for himself. So we thought in our minds that we needed to be there to represent him, to show a face with Trayvon Martin's name.
And straight into the lion's den, the family has said that they were so shocked that there wasn't that guilty verdict. But knowing the laws, the self-defense laws as they are in Florida, and hearing the evidence the prosecution presented in court, should they have been surprised that there wasn't a not guilty verdict? I want to go to Sheryl Lee Ralph, who is joining us from Los Angeles. She's an actress and author of Redefining Diva. What do you say? Should they have been shocked by that acquittal?
Absolutely, they should have been shocked. Their child is dead. Their child, who was armed only with Skittles and a can of iced tea, is dead. And it seems as if there was no way to find justice for an unarmed teenager in America. Of course, they should have been shocked. How can the one who is dead, the victim, become the guilty one in all of this? We are all shocked, not just the family. I would say so much of America, and not just black and brown people. All of us are shocked.
Joining us also tonight, very special guest, we have Senator Vincent Hughes. He is a senator out of Pennsylvania. Philadelphia is where he joins us. Senator, thank you for joining us. The President of the United States spoke today on all of this and started off his words by talking about potential federal charges that could come in this case, but also saying that traditionally, as he speaks with his Attorney General, that they come from the state and local level. Was he trying to give the American public a message right there that there may not be federal charges to come in this case?
Well, I think what the president is doing, and rightfully so, and before I go any further, let me say hello to Mrs. Hughes. Cheryl, how are you? But good, let me just say real clear, unequivocally, the president and the U.S. Department of Justice should gather all the information in Florida in this case and everything surrounding this case to make sure that there was nothing inappropriate that happened throughout the entire process, to make sure that race did not play a role. You know, Florida has a long history of not being able to do the best things when it comes to issues of justice and a fair determination on cases. The president, Attorney General Holder have the appropriate responsibility, and I think many of us are encouraging them to take on Florida and find out exactly what's going on, explore every ramification of this case. And it is especially important to make sure that there can be, at some level, some peace, some healing nationally, that we get to the bottom of what exactly happened in every aspect of this case. That's extremely important for the healing of this nation, and more important than for anyone else, the parents of Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin is dead. Trayvon Martin is dead. A 17-year-old teenager is dead. And we've got to come to grips with that, and there needs to be a process of healing, dealing from the U.S. Department of Justice, helping us find all the information will help this nation heal.
All right, panel, I know you want in on this. We're going to take a short break and more when we return on how that family can get justice. So what do you think about this? You know, the jury was sequestered, right? But that didn't mean the jury didn't have fun in this extremely serious trial. In fact, the jury, they had manicures and pedicures, restaurant meals, they went shopping, they went bowling, they went to Ripley's Believe It or Not museum, they even saw fireworks on the 4th of July. Let us go into the lion's den. How did this, if at all, impact their state of mind for this very serious trial about the death of Trayvon Martin? did it impact them at all? I want to go to Brian Silber, criminal defense attorney, joining us out of Miami. Could this have given the jury not as serious of a tone to all of this? Because I've seen many a sequestered jury. I've never seen all of this.
I think it's a very valid question. And my objection really is based on money that may have been spent on them. Obviously, if our government is paying for people to get pedicures, I take a tremendous issue with that. Putting that aside, however, we do have to understand that they are there to do a very serious job, and I think we all agree on that. And for that reason, a little R&R is absolutely necessary. These are human beings. They're not machines. They're not robots. And quite frankly, I think if the verdict was the other way, if there was a conviction, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. We'd be saying, hey, it was great that they got to, relax, they got to breathe, so that later on when they were in that courtroom and they were watching evidence and they were deliberating, their brains were focused.
But Brian, we might be having appellate issues if it was the other way. Sheryl Lee Ralph, what do you think about the jurors and the 22-night vacation they seem to have?
You know something? Sometimes you see it, you hear it, and you want to think, oh, my God, I wish I was going out to dinner, having mani and pedi. But, yes, there is something to them having a calm mind. But this is a serious, serious case, and it just makes me feel uncomfortable. My mani-pedi is for me to relax and get away from it all. This was not the case to get away from it all, because it was not the time to say, well, you should have just gone home. Please, is that what you came to after your mani-pedi?
All right, more on this, because I think this is a really strong issue. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with Senator Vincent Hughes right after this. I've seen many a jury sequestered before, and the most recent one was Casey Anthony. And to Senator Vincent Hughes joining us tonight out of Philadelphia, I got to tell you about the Casey Anthony jury, all right? They didn't have television. They didn't have internet. They didn't have anything. Once a week, they got to phone their families. Once a week, visitation occurred with their families. Far different than this. What are your thoughts on all the luxuries that this jury got?
There is a science in handling juries. Different cases require different ways for you to create an environment for that particular jury to make the appropriate decision. However, like Sheryl, I was a little bit uncomfortable with the conversation or providing manicures and pedicures and things of that nature. It seemed to kind of go a little bit past whatever the appropriate science is. And again, it goes to the environment of what's happening in Florida.
All right. Thank you so much to all of our guests. Nancy is next.